What's good, gang? It's SB Cap.
The Bonnet Bandit.
And 2024 was a crazy year for rap, from the Drake and Kendrick beef to the public scandals of Diddy. But what about the underground side of rap? Because saying they didn't have their fair share of Diddy type scandals would be a lie. So I thought we could look back over the year 2024 and the many Diddy type characters lurking in the underground. First up, we got rapper Beretta, who got accused of messing with a 15-year-old girl on January 14th, 2024. And the rapper Beretta is confirmed to be over 18. And in this video, you're gonna find like the low lives and the people with no shame, but you know, it's kind of what you came for. Other than the fact that he was talking to a minor, he was also caught stroking his knee on FaceTime to said minor.
From the beginning, on January 14th, I was sent a video by a person who wants to be kept anonymous with the context that Beretta was allegedly jerking off to a 15-year-old and ejaculated on camera on FaceTime.
Alright, come on. With his face in it. With his face. With his face. With his face.
But yeah, honestly, that's just going outside. What more can I say? Moving on to our second Diddy on the list, we got the duo Lifeless Garments and Anti-Server. Lifeless Garments and Anti-Server got accused of messing and a 15-year-old girl that will come to light on Twitter. From the underground Twitter god himself, Fendioso. And I'm not here to give you the play-by-play, but I'm just gonna play a clip to give you guys a synopsis of what happened.
The 15-year-old was fucking with Lifeless Garments, right? Now, she was fucking with Lifeless Garments. Lifeless Garments had sex with this 15-year-old. Yes, he did, but he thought she was 18. But yes, he had sex with a 15-year-old. Yes, that happened. Now, not only did that happen, what's it called? Server knew of her at the time, and apparently, the nigga had sex with her too. Now.
Yeah, I know. Crazy stuff in it. February 15th, Lifeless Garments again got accused of an essay for something that happened back in February 2022. Twitter user Danny Kyoto says Lifeless Garments essayed a friend of hers named Rainey, and that the reason why she hadn't said anything prior is because it wasn't her business. But now said friend has given her permission to talk about the situation. Here's some pictures that she shared of Lifeless and her friend, with Lifeless saying that he wants both of them and doesn't know which one to pick, knowing that these girls were full-on minors. Messages and voice messages from the situation show that the victims were in obvious distress from the situation.
He's like, you deserve to die. Like, why are you still alive? This time, because I didn't know if it was fucking him or not. And he literally just fucking calls me and is screaming at me. And I'm like, bro, you fucking raped my friend. Like, what the fuck do you expect me to say? And then he literally,
along with later tweets that would hint at a guilty conscience from Lifeless Garments. The fact that this isn't his first allegation makes it pretty obvious that he was guilty of this too, because April 25th, Lifeless Garments again would then find himself in allegations. User Zari on Twitter can be seen sharing a screenshot of Lifeless Garments watching her story. She later goes to explain that he used to follow her on IG, and that she told him she was a minor and asked him if he could unfollow her, which he did, for him just to keep stalking her on TikTok. On June 12th, Lifeless Garments gets arrested, and high school girls can sleep safely tonight with the super seniors smoking that Lifeless pack. Not much is out on the reason why he got arrested, but a win is a win. June 26th, the final Lifeless Garments allegation for the year. Even though he's in jail, he gets exposed for stuff he'd already sent, just to like really depraved, weird, typical underground rapper stuff you can think of. The next deviant on the list is a female Diddy. April 23rd, 2024. Female TikTok Glock 40 Spaz groupie, Foreign Tobes, went viral in the underground for basically trying to kidnap underground rappers Skio, Bullyman, and Knock. And I'm not gonna lie, the underground was a little ruthless towards these guys because of the fact that they told guns and carry a gangster image. People were basically saying that they're a bunch of phonies, softies, wussies. How could you let her do that to you? She's half your size, yada yada, you know. Like, you know, how do you let that little white girl do that to y'all despite these guns?
Me being in that crib personally, I felt like the bitch was raping me without actually even touching me. That's why I left at the time I left, because when I was there around the time, obviously I had to wait for my show, right? But she kept playing with my emotions. She kept trying to offer me Adderall nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Any medicine she had, Zincs, whatever, she wanted to go pick up from her plug. She'll literally fuck her plug, take medicine from him, and try to give it to us. And then literally gets mad when we try to leave, and then tells us don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of messages of this shit. But do not let foreign ties to keep allowing to go up off of this bullshit, off of other people's names, when all reality, the bitch is a shice and a scammer.
But despite all that, it was still very Diddy-like of her to invite these 3 boys, one of them being underage, and then try to hold them captive. Okay, so next we got Stunmig, aka the Twink Diddler, is what people call him, on June 25th, 2024. So after an artist called Fresh Boy Swag got exposed for allegedly hitting his girlfriend, fashion guy, model, influencer, Stunmig replied to the situation trying to take the moral high ground just for someone to call him out on it.
Fresh Boy Swag and Destroy Lonely had their allegations come out. Stun Mike spoke on both. He was like, dang, y'all can go, blah, blah, blah. You know, he just said whatever he had to say. But Osquin, or Parker, who's like this hype pop artist who basically like lives in New York now and is part of that scene, spoke out against it. That Stun Mike, or she said, or they said, sorry, I don't mean to mess up their pronouns. Stun Mike chiming in on the situation like he's a saint and did nothing to nobody. LMAO, right? I know some folks who would strongly disagree. I'm getting up out of NYC. Y'all is fake and fried.
Which resulted in the victim to not only come out with the play-by-play, but she also came out with receipts like a kid. To sum up the victim's story, she's not a smoker, but they got high, and that's when he took advantage of her. And one of the reasons she didn't fight back while it happened was because he promised her a career as a model. A lot came out on Twitter, but it ended up being a lot of he said, she said. But she did take him to court over this. And after a few weeks, everyone basically stopped talking about this, and it seems like he's still walking free to this day. But maybe the case is still pending. Who knows? Next on our list of underground Diddies is a rapper who is just overall weird. His name is Bleod, who on June 26, 2024 got exposed for who he really is. If we count all his allegations, I think it comes up to 3, stemming all the way back to high school. He used to get beat up for lying about his age to minors.
Every day at school for the next 2 weeks, I was looking for his ass. His ass was hiding and not coming to school. This is his best friend, by the way. Finally caught him at the morning, straight up to him and rocked him in his, this is crazy. That was really my brother, like my best friend. This is Leod's ex-best friend who probably knows him way better than any of us. He used to lie to girls and say he was 17 when he was 18. What? I thought he was just turned. You got scared to go back to school. You got given the beats and let it happen. You ain't been to school since you got beat. I think so this is his Discord. Him on the ground. I'm not going to play the video. I can't play that video. But yeah, he got rocked pretty bad. And you can see there like people separating him and stuff.
And he's also been alleged for trying to girls through kisses.
The dude that gave him the beats, I used to be his best friend. Oh, it's the same dude, but we ended up falling out over a girl. I've had 2 women tell me he R-worded them, pressured them by doing stuff, and they didn't want to do begging. He kissed one of them with Molly in his mouth, tried to pressure a 3rd girl into doing stuff, but she didn't go for it. When confronted about these things, he called me a dweeb on Instagram DMs, and as soon as I saw him at school, I beat him.
The reason why I don't want to go into detail with all his allegations is because I have a life to live. But if you do want to know what Bleod did in more detail, I'll link a detailed video for each rapper in the comments down below. So the next Diddy on our list is a story so ironic you'd think it was fake. July 12th, HBK UnderGround was exposed for basically being an E-pimp and lying to girls about his age, having East with underage girls and paying them for it, and scamming his followers out of promo. And the reason why all of this is so ironic is because HBK was always the first person to expose all the weirdos. He always had an opinion on everyone, calling them pathetic, from rappers to fans to even YouTubers, always taking the moral high ground. While everyone else I've listed in this video still either has a career or something close, HBK knew he up because he messed up so bad he ran off the internet, never to be seen again, because he knew everyone would call him a hypocrite if he had stayed. Anyways, now we're down to our last 2 Diddies. Now I couldn't decide who to put second to last or last out of these 2 weirdos, but I think I know who really deserves to be last because, save the worst for last. So next on our list is Autumn, and honestly I know a lot of people were expecting him to come up eventually because when it comes to allegations, Autumn came out in 2024 with 5 of them. So let's speed run through them. First, we got an incident on April 10th where he got exposed for sending messages to a girl who supposedly faked her age to take him down, but she was really 24 years old.
Hey, look, if you see this message, you feel me? If you see this message, I want you to, you know what I'm saying? I want you to know exactly where it came from, because they trying a young nigga again, you feel me? I was having a good day. I went to look at the years. I'm finna get a years. It's blue. That shit hard, you feel me? But look, you leak my, she leaked my number, so I'm gonna leak hers. Cool, look, this bitch right here, that's Liberty Z. I'ma tag her so y'all could see it's a grown woman. Basically, I don't fuck with her no more. You know what I'm saying? She leaked my number, all type of weird shit. Like, you could have just left me alone, bro. There's plenty of niggas out here, like.
And then there was May 22nd where he was caught liking photos of a minor. And then there was June 23rd where apparently he tried talking to a girl born in 2007 by replying to her story and letting her know that she's fire. This guy's like mid-20s, like 25 by the way. July 5th, the screenshot surfaces of him and a junior in high school on FaceTime with each other. And while there's no solid proof that she's a junior, it's kind of hard to give him the benefit of the doubt based on his history. And finally, on September 19th, Autumn was caught liking the reel on Instagram. And if you think everything up to this point has been petty, the reel says, me trying to prevent myself from graduating so I can keep talking to freshmen next year. Like, come on, it doesn't get more self-incriminating than that. But if you still think all of this is just a petty case, this has kind of been a light year for Autumn. He's had way worse allegations in the past. But yeah, if you want to learn more about that, there's better videos than what I would do. But yeah, but now I know you're thinking, who could be worse than Autumn? Let me introduce you to our number one spot. Rapper Jadis is an underground rapper who shocked everyone when the internet found out that there was a warrant for his arrest for attempted murder for his ex-girlfriend, as he had apparently cut her up a bunch of times, then went on the run. At this point, most people were still split on whether he was guilty or not, until they remembered that he had a song called Disassembled. And with his history of crashing out of school, dicing up animals, the edgy persona, what really did it for people to consider him guilty was his post-game interview of the arrest, where he completely lied to everyone on a Discord call. And that was what made him seem guilty. He then went on the run again, violating his probation during the case, and now he's once again arrested with no probation anytime soon, and the verdict still remains to be seen on what would happen to him. But if you think I missed any underground weirdos, let me know. It's been that boy SB Cap, Bonnet Bandit, reminding y'all boys to keep chasing the bag.
You lying. He ain't do that. He did that? He really did that. Y'all lying. I gotta do my research. Before I start talking about shit. Before I start talking about niggas on live.